Beginning in 3, 2, 1, go. And what better way to relax? By staying in bed all day. And if that doesn't work, you can try picking up a shield. Don't really know how that's gonna help you relax, but you know what? If it worked for you, it works. What works for us is taking a little checkpoint here over at Bowwow's house. Just to make sure he's doing okay. I think he's doing fine. Hey, Michaela P, welcome in. Thank you much for the good wishes, and enjoy some Link's Awakening here tonight. Also, experience the owls. So obtained. And that is just the beginnings of our adventure. Also the beginning of the moblin problems, and there are many moblin problems on this island. But no moblins are more problematic than these owls. These owls are definitely the bigger problem. It is not even close. They've got an infestation of them. So that bat coming. That bat should have been out of bounds, but no. Instead, it was coming right for us and had to be stopped. Moblin, what a rude dude! That was a Moblin that was very about to be skipped, and then no. He decided his friend was not having any of that. Anyway, Moblins are done. And those Moblins, they were really weird. Neither of those things should have happened. And yet, here we are. Heading back home to go play some very trendy games. Let's do this. We skipped the moblins in the forest there. We did not pick up the magic powder from the witch that you are normally supposed to grab. But it's okay because you can get some magic powder right here for playing this game. And it is just that easy. Other thing you get here is the Yoshi doll, which is just adorable. Still a decent Moblin skip overall. Yeah, it was not bad because the Moblin cooperated getting into position. If that Moblin had been a lot slower standing where I needed him to be, then having to do a second try and it's a little bit more punishing. Because we just got completely hosed by that top Moblin the first time. And then we got the Yoshi doll obtained. Which is when, I would say, all of our problems start. This is when Link turned to a life of crime and began to steal things. I don't know what his problem is, but I do know that it's going to end very badly for him. And with stuff's over, now we can go ahead and buy some bombs. I don't know. He's doing it again. I can't believe that he got away with it twice. I can't believe that we just got to this adorable ribbon. Why don't we see if we can give this as a present over to Chow Chow, who has some wonderfully juicy and delicious agua beef sitting in this can right here. That stuff is the best. Now, with our belly full and our items thieved, now we can go to Palace 1. What do we have for season 37? I mean, if it's 70 points to go, then you are right around 2 weeks for finishing it up. Assuming the Neapolitan Afterglow gets good scores most nights, which is probably pretty likely. And we've got 1 night off next week because of our challenge run, so could go an extra day longer. Slide around these things. Their hitboxes are actually smaller than they seem. So the glowy parts on the fringe do not actually damage you, which is not true of the Switch version. They changed that to make those be a little bit bigger in size. There's a bunch of very small changes with the Switch version for game mechanics overall. Some of which kind of make sense and some of which are like a bit of a mystery why they did it. There's no mystery as to what my favorite item in Link's Awakening is. It would be the feather here. Because now, we can hop very, very short distances. It's just barely useful enough that it has all kinds of great applications, and it feels like a nice item because it's not super overpowered. It really makes you work for things. Alright, there's our big key, so now we can get to the wonderful boss of Palace 1, who, of course, is the world-renowned and extremely beloved Moldorm. We'll see how Moldorm goes tonight. We'll get some good thunks here. I'd say both of those thunks were top-notch. Going down. Good morning, fight. I'll take it. Like renamed whenever he steals something. Is that when he's stealing something? It's when he gets caught. So if you only steal one item, then it won't change your name. And you can still get the best ending of the game because that requires just that you have no deaths in the playthrough. But after getting caught, none of those things can ever be done again. So if you're going to have like a playthrough, you're trying to take advantage of that, you want to only steal like the very best item. It's also kind of funny that in order to get every single thing in the game, you have to steal something because one of the photographs for the picture taking is from stealing from the shop. I think that was a good level 1. I think this is a pretty good time to begin some illegal banana smuggling. That's always the best. find out about all kinds of new moblin problems. I think after those first moblins, the moblins would have learned, but no. There's always more moblin problems. There's basically no end to them. And that's why this time, we've got to stop those moblins for good. Was the town of Melmont named after moblins? What if moblins were named after the town of Melmont? And what if these moblins kidnap Bow Wow? How dare they? Alright, we almost got hit by that acorn. It was really close. That was terrifying. Ooh, only 2 on this side. So we need a 4, which is very tough on the right-hand side. Oh, we got it. Solid 2-cycle moblin boss. Had a pretty good time picking up Bow Wow. Alright, so as long as Bow Wow has not eaten too many moblins and is hungry for some vegetables, this could be a pretty good time going into Palace too. Oh no, he's eating moblins and slimes. This is going to ruin his appetite. Oh, he ate the vegetables super fast. What an amazing Bow Wow. One more. Can do it, Bow Wow. Alright. Wasn't the best one for the second one, but the first one was incredible. Into Palace 2 we go. Oh, let's come back. Like I didn't want to be stabbed. No one wants to be stabbed. Everybody loves Palace 2 because this is the first, like, actual, like, really good palace. Palace 1 is very, very simplistic. It's more of a tutorial dungeon than a real palace layout. This one's got a lot more adventure and exploration elements to it. Even though they're fairly simplistic and there's a linear pathway through it. It shows you a lot more of what the game is capable of. I like Palace 1. The flanks are not bad. Oh, so that's just the most satisfying room. There is no room better than that one. Oh, there's some very close calls with acorns here so far. I thought we'd have an acorn at that bat there out of bounds, but nope, it was at the ghost. So I probably should have been preparing for it. There can know. When an unexpected and surprised acorn can ruin your day. It could happen to anyone. Go away, you! Alright. Let's grab our big key here. Go those 3 enemies in a specific order, so you are forced to try and navigate around them. They will kind of jump in the way of each other. And as a result, it's often very difficult to get them to behave. but hopefully not too difficult to get the boss of Palace 2 to behave this time. Last night, it was fine on the first phase, and then the second phase, he dodged the bomb arrow. So I don't know if that was just like too soon, too late. If it was too low on the screen, I'm gonna have to play around with it a bit. Like the first time that he's dodged it in a long time. See if we can dodge these fireballs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it gets the pot in midair there, otherwise he's got an extra line of dialogue if it hits the ground. It very helpfully explains how the fight's supposed to work over and over again. But it just takes up extra time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got all 3 pot catches. And we got a pretty good fight here against the very evil and probably slimy clown. That was an extremely nice palace too. Palace 2 is like the one thing these splits did not do particularly well on. I guess it's not the most incredible final boss fight, because that's got a lot of RNG into it. But it's good to see an early lead. Now let's see if Bao is still hungry. Alright, eat a vegetable. And that's all we can ask for. Alright, this weird Bao is just gonna eat all the moblins. Sometimes a diet may be advisable. And this time, I would recommend sending Bao back home where he belongs, so that we can go on to visit the plains. So far the game's been very linear in terms of like, the areas that you can get to are quite restricted, but once you get the Power Glove, things open up very substantially. You're going to get probably like 3/4 of the game map reachable from where you are right now, and there's a whole lot of things that you'll see that you can't get to later, but so much of the game is already going to be accessible just from these small set of items. It's up to you to figure out where you want to go next. Where we want to go is this castle here. Because that's where they do the banana deals. Sometimes a back alley banana deal can give you a stick. And those are the good times. That guy only hits once per cycle out there, so even though he got a double swing when he was popped out of that first hole, it does not actually count for 2 hits. On the Switch version, you have like a whole bunch of hits required. Like they really beefed him up for some reason. And I feel like if you can do that twice, you probably understand how the concept of hitting him works. That's one where I don't quite understand why they really lengthened that fight out. It's like, I think 5 or 6 hits on the Switch version. There's Golden Leaf. Number 3. We don't know why we're collecting golden leaves, but, I mean, if you could, you definitely would. Alright, leaf number 4, and down the hole we go. It's trying to fall down the hole at the same time as it's holding up the leaf, and that means that both animations kind of run at the same time. Slightly faster dropping down the hole that way than it is to walk back out of the room. Time now to find out. But golden leaf number 5 may have been stolen by a very big jerk, who just happens to be a bird. Alright, piece of power. Watch out for that. Okay, no piece of power. No problems. Piece of power is the other item that can slow us down if we pick it up. Both the defense and the offensive bonus items have a dialog box that pops up every single time that you get one. And for the defensive item, like, there's no advantage at all for having double defense. The offensive one, it does make you move slightly faster. In some rare situations, it is useful to be able to kill the enemies more quickly as well, but for the most part, you're very rarely going to be able to make up the couple of seconds that the text pops up. That's important because we want to be as rapidly as possible going to mow Richard's lawn here. All right, Richard, I will totally mow your lawn. Let's go. Alright, lawn's been mowed. And down here we find the slime key. Alright, so that opens up Palace 3, but how do we get to Palace 3? Unfortunately, this means we have to go all the way back around through this entire section, which I think a nice change that this version has is there's a back exit out of there. Basically a one-way passageway that you can push a block over to get over to this side here. Place that little donut in the corner. And unlock Palace 3 that way. I guess only downside, oops, I want to have feathers still on for a little bit longer. Let's try this. Do that, getting back to the same inventory order that we normally have. There we go, now we can put on bracelet. And now we can head into Palace 3. Alright. I was really scared about that bomb being in that little crevice in the bottom because that one is extremely angry when it goes off. Hey, T-Pill, welcome in. Odds of not having any frog songs tonight. I would say you should stick around, find out. So we got an acorn drop here. Pretty common. Here it is. And good times. Where's now? It is time to feed some Dodongos some bombs. Let's see if they're hungry. That almost went really well. I mean, it was still a very good Dodongo fight. It was not quite perfect because I couldn't keep them stacked up together. That's a bit of luck to get them to go in a position where you can do the alternating bombs to begin with. So I will call that very nice Dodongos. Now let's see how the rest of Palace 3 goes. Alright, we can kind of group them up here. Get them all pop with one bomb. By killing them with a bomb, they will guaranteed drop bombs in return. There's a few enemies that are like that, where if you have their special requirement met, then you will get a item drop every time. Another very common one is if you stop a Goomba coming down from midair with a jump, then it will always drop a heart. There's our key opened up for the final one in the middle section. It's got a neat design where a whole bunch of individual side quests kind of come together. And once you do enough of those, you get to go around the Spiral of Locks. You gotta go and fight the boss. And let's take the extra heart, just in case. It's nice to have full hearts for this boss because you can sometimes get some decent damage boosts to speed the fight. We got both? That was a really good Palace 3. That's about as good as Palace 3 is going to go. Now that's how quickly that we can get the ringtone. That was a perfect boss fight and nearly perfect Dodongos, which are usually the two things that are most likely to go wrong there. Other thing that goes wrong is that you get way too many owls. These things are the worst. I gotta say, the owls, not nearly as good as these bees. It is a lot of bees. Bees acquired. Right, let's head on to the Animal Village. Or does he hit the beehive? I mean, everyone wants bees. That's just common sense. And everyone loves to trade their bees for a pineapple. It's the best. All right, now that we got the pineapple picked up, we can go and voop our way over to the starting village. After all of these bee-related adventures, I think it's time to take a nap. lights out. It is kind of impressive how Link can sleep anywhere, including inside of dreams. And he earns money in the process. That's the big chunk of our rupees that we need for the frog song later on in the game. I'll need 300 picked up by the time that we finish up Palace 6. Also to get the ocarina. That acquired. Now we can go down to the beach and work on our tan. Let's find out what Marian's been up to. I hear she's studying for her seagull exams. Notice how they did like a very complicated cutscene in a pretty basic Game Boy game like this. And we can even acquire a Marin. I'm pretty sure seagull exams test a wide variety of topics, but mostly stealing food. And sometimes, you do have to know how to oil a walrus. See? Marian's been practicing. That walrus. Greased to perfection. Going to be the last thing. Bringing us going into the desert here. Good fight. Let's play some defense, keep this key out of the hole. If we fall down there, it is a whole lot of trouble. Alright, so we picked up the fish key, and now let's go pick up this adventure at Palace 4. Also get some of Tracy's famous, fabulous fairy juice. That's the good stuff. It's like a bottle fairy, except instead of a whole fairy, it's kind of been through the blender. Put up on Telltale Heights so that we get a save and quit point once we get our palace unlocked, and what a palace unlocking it is, because this palace easily best palace unlocking entire game. It is quite nice. Time now to head up the mountain. Hey, there's my boy. We're good. Got a picnic lunch and everything. I am sure he will not need any rescuing at all. Whereas we need to get the hardest jump in the game done here in Palace 4. It is a pretty tough one. Three of these jumps are in Palace 4, 5, and then also in Palace 5. So this sequence, biggest one for acrobatics in the entire game, all compressed into one tiny little segment. It can be kind of tough. Anyway, welcome in. Thank you much for the raid there, and hope you had a good time streaming tonight. We're still pretty early in our Link's Awakening playthrough, so you do get to enjoy our fabulous show here, and let's hopefully have a pretty good jump across. Okay, first try on the jump. That's the hardest jump in the game. So if we can get that one, I usually feel pretty good. 100 diamonds for crystals, not bad. Still remember when a lot of your runs were like an hour 50 on that, so definitely feels like your crystals times have come down quite a substantial bit for the randomizer. What do we get? The flippers. Alright, so I'm going to bail out on Palace 4 here, because if you finish Palace 4, then there's a very spooky ghost that follows you around and doesn't let you go into dungeons. But if it's your very last palace, you can actually not do the spooky ghost quest. We're going to come back to Palace 4 once we got all the other places done. And we'll finally finish off the boss at that time. Right now, though, what we gotta do is take some ocarina lessons and try not to look directly at the bird. Yeah, so you had a host earlier from Poexel. He was doing, I think, some Chrono Trigger 100% glitchless today. Gotta see a little bit of that before I started streaming. Now we'll see how things go in Palace number 5. This is where the difficulty game really jumps up a lot. Kind of feel like Palaces 3 and 4, not majorly complex compared to the earliest tutorial ones, but 5's not a lot easier than Palaces like 7 and 8. They kind of turn up the intensity all of a sudden. And we do have some very tough jumps inside. In we go. Alright, if you will turn any around. That almost worked. Come on. Turn! Those guys are the worst. So the way that you deal with them is once you have the hook shot, you can pull their shells off and then they lose their defenses. But of course, the hookshot is the item that you get in this dungeon. So you're not going to have it for a while. Whereas we're going to have our small key on the left-hand side, and now we get into the center of this place. Hey, Pastor, welcome in. Hope you're having a good time here tonight. And enjoy some Link's Awakening. About to be beginning the mini-boss gauntlet. This guy's gimmick is you have to fight him 4 times in specific arenas, in a specific order. And so a lot of it's just kind of figuring out what the rules are to make him spawn. The fights themselves are not too bad. In fact, the second and third fights are easier than the first and fourth, which, for some reason, they changed in the Switch version to make all the fights the same difficulty. Don't know if that was intentional, because it feels like they did not need to make the fights that laborious. Here's number 2. Tell which one it is by the blocks in the corners. Those will slowly increase up to arena number 4. Here's number 3. Here's where we find out whether the next toughest jump is going to go well or not. This one used to be the 3rd toughest jump. I have upgraded it to number 2. I'll be happy if it does do decently well. That one's not gonna work. There we go, second try. That was not too bad. Got our big key here. That one looks completely impossible, but because you have this little hookshot platform that you're supposed to use after you get the hookshot to come back on, it has a bigger hitbox than it appears. So you can kind of land on it even though it looks like you shouldn't be able to. As for our 4th mini-boss fight, this is one that people will pretty much never remember. Because you gotta go all the way back to where you were at the beginning. That is how you get the hookshot. Hookshot's been acquired. We'll see. The RNG boss is going to cooperate. Second try is not too bad on the 2nd toughest jump. So 3rd toughest jump left to go. So we're not completely out of the woods yet. Got our money for the frog song all picked up. Go visit the Cheep Cheeps. They're nice. All right. That one went decently well. So our tough jumps are out of the way. Now we're gonna deal with how random this boss is. Hopefully he behaves today. Got him 8 times, and I can pull up out of the wall twice, guaranteed, but then after that it's a 50-50 whether it's a bomb or not, and when they say 50-50, they mean like 90% of the time it's a bomb. Alright, 0 for 1. There's 1 cycle done. Alright, only 1 time I couldn't get to him. That's not too bad. We lost a little bit of time for having to redo one of the jumps. Overall, Palace 5, pretty decent. Kind of surprised we lost actually that much time on Palace 4 and 5 combined, but it's hard to estimate like how much a jump failure costs. Like sometimes it feels like it's 5 seconds, sometimes it feels like it's 15. And it kind of comes down to like how much setup went into the jump and exactly how we fail it. Like on average, like I'm usually pretty happy if I get 2 first tries and a second try. That's already going decently well. We go up to the Ancient Ruins. Here's our hardest mini-boss section for the palace openings. This place is no joke. Probably the single toughest fight in the game. So maybe the final boss. Alright, that guy likes to bomb in cutscenes because he's a real big jerk. I'm pretty certain he does that on purpose. Here we can use the shield to bump the statues around, which we avoid having to do the fights in this place. Kind of neat that there's a basically pacifist strategy for dealing with the Armos Knights. Kind of rewards you for exploration and trying out the mechanics. If you want to fight these things, they're really mean and aggressive, and other than arrows, it's tough to kill them. Like there's a strategy to do that. Now, as for this guy's just tough in general. But looks like he went down pretty nicely there. Like it's like even slightly out of control. It's really hard to improv recovery for it because he does 2 items per hits. Which is pretty much up there with like the highest damage that you're going to see in the game. I think the only one that's higher than that is the boss of Palace 8 for his fireballs. And for the mini-boss there, he's got fast movement, gets faster every time you hit him, so he gets really fast by the end of the fight, and he's just so big in an arena that's incredibly tiny, making it extremely tough to move it around without getting hit. But as we are looking good. Let's see if we can sneak our way into Palace 6 here. Just happens to be my favorite palace of the entire game. Alright, root bomb thrower. This guy would take a damage boost off and get off of the stairs. There we go. In theory, you don't need to move off the stairs, but I have found that sometimes if he's directly on top of the stairs, you are not able to damage boost through him, and then you're in a lot of trouble because you cannot take a whole bunch of those hits. It's a little bit slow going into Palace 6 here. Hopefully the palace itself goes well. Zelda Palace 6 is very satisfying. Even though this is the palace that has wizards in it, which everybody else hates. I think it's just got a cool enough design that the wizards are not causing me to not like this place. I think it's just so satisfying in a lot of ways. You're going down, that's fine. Moldorm was fine. Sometimes Mini Moldorm has too much grease. But as we got the Power Glove here, now we're going to be playing with power. Okay. I don't know why sometimes it picks up the wrong elephant, but it's kind of funny when it happens. It only does it occasionally, that it'll be standing on the opposite side from the one it picks up. It's like, pretty sure that's not correct. Wrong elephant is a serious medical condition. I would definitely have a doctor check that one out. Wizards were decent. We got our Power Glove, we got our small key. Now we get the right-hand side of the palace started. And this is where the action really takes place. Because this is where they keep all of the tile rooms. This is also where we get to play ball. Give me the ball. Good ball. Alright, not exploding. If I leave too early, then the warp point does not actually form. There's a lot of areas where you have to have like the right timing to make sure all the events have fully taken place before you move on to the next room. There's nothing worse than saving quitting it too early and then find out that your progress was not actually saved. That's safely taking home our small key here. Now we can go to the secret passageway and start clearing out the other floors. You don't have to smack the tiles, but it is very slightly faster than dodging them or using your shield to block them. One time now for the chess puzzle. So we do today. 2. Third try. So third try is okay. On average, it's 4 tries for it. They're pretty fast to retry. So at least it's then not too bad for the time loss on it. People's voices, and now let's feed the Dodongos some bombs. I hope they're hungry. These Dodongos are not hungry. bad Dodongos, though. Could have been better, but I'll take it. I mean, we had really good Dodongos in Palace 3, so I was optimistic that maybe at last the Dodongos had finally learned. But no. They still don't need their bombs. Alright, jump's warmed up. Around we go. Not as satisfying as the one in Palace 2, but it's fine. It's still pretty fun. Now it's time now to fight the boss of Palace 6 here. Face dude. So he's just a face. It's actually a pretty fun fight because there's a lot of timing for going into the quick kill for it. Otherwise, this fight goes on for quite some time. I actually like the Switch version because you can do a whole bunch of bomb arrows off of the tiles to speed it up. Since you don't have the early bomb drops, the bomb arrows are much more critical for doing that. And importantly, we do have a very good Palace 6 time there as well. This one's going pretty well so far. But will it go well enough to make it past the frog song? Certainly not getting past Dales. That's pretty much impossible. Frogs? Maybe we can get past the frogs. Proving past 130. Yeah, 130 for a long time was a big wall, and then since then it's been like pretty much all sub 130s. So it very quickly kind of swapped over. Because we learned to read signs twice as fast, and there's a lot of signs. That does help. Not super clean for doing it, but it worked. Now we can read even more signs. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of signs. And if you read any sign in the wrong order, then you have to start from the very beginning. All over again. Like all good things. Eventually, all the signs are red. And eventually, this happens. I don't know why this happens, but I would recommend looking away. It's pretty bad. It somehow gets worse the second time. And That's the frog song. We might do it again later. What is with these pits? They've been extra slippery today. That's delaying us from getting our big bird. Our spooky bird. And our blue bird. This bird is terrifying. Let's go. Let's see if we can get some good voops. Now, you would think after Palace 6 that we go to Palace 7, but we're instead going to be going up to Palace 8 because the fire rod is really good, and remember, we need to loop back to Palace 4 there eventually. It just so happens that Palace 7 kind of naturally exits into the entrance of Palace 4. Doing 874 is slightly better for the travel time that we got. Let's climb. That's a little boy. Boy's doing great up there. Look at him go. You can see that he's waving to show us how excited he is to see us. Good to see you too, boy. That's a great time. So we can go and get the bird key. Go unlock some birds. Boy, this bird was as fast as the Switch version. The original version Bluebird is a bit pokey. Switch version is like a missile. It's really fun. Alright, bird key's been acquired. And now back over to Palace 8. There we go. So during this a lot of the time, I'm going to be taking pretty substantial amounts of damage going across here, and this is kind of intentional. I'll need to get all of my hearts emptied out for a damage boost through some fire. Normally you have the mirror shield to be able to block a weirdly gigantic flamethrower. But if you're too busy drinking a potion, the game does not realize that you are very on fire. And we slip through just like that. And we'll also open up Total Rock here. It's kind of a little fight that you do versus the Turtlehead, but if you are very quickly slipping in, go underneath the head when it goes and goes to bite you. does cause a little bit of a problem later because you'll get stuck on the head on the way out back out. But that is something that we can deal with when the time comes. For now, what we're dealing with is Palace 8. For casual games, kind of a big deal. For the speedrun, really, really fun. All these twisty secret passageways. I'm gonna do these backwards. I think that's like 75% of the palace out by doing them the wrong way around. Alright, passage number 2. 3. Now for the juicy stuff. I'm going to be going to grab some bonus arrows here. Not normally picked up in the speedrun, but for my playstyle, I like to have extra arrows so I can be very aggressive trying to shoot Death-Eye at the end of the game. You absolutely do not want to run out of arrows, or else it is very, very bad. Pick up that extra pack. I have usually 7 or 8 extra arrows compared to what I would normally have. Just enough to be a lot more comfortable. Right here. It's gonna be our battle versus Mike Tyson. Gonna have to punch him out. Good fight versus Mike. The corner cheese strat has won again. And we'll go pick up the fire rod. This thing is really cool. It's like the bow. Except you don't have to have paltry limited ammunition. You can fire it as much as you want, and it kind of has a lingering flame effect, which means that even if you kind of miss, enemies will still like walk into it. It is ridiculously good. And normally in the game you have it for such a short period of time that you don't really get to enjoy it, but we have Palace 7 left to go. We'll have a little bit more quality fire rod time. We'll have a small key. Should be enough for our keys here. It should be time to go and get the big key picked up. You get to these ice blocks very early and not know how to deal with them, and for most dungeons of the game, that usually means that there is an item in the dungeon that you need to progress onward. Very, very few things in this game require that you actually carry stuff over between different areas. Good fight there. Sometimes that guy gets a little bit out of control with all the lava in the center. It's tough to get him back into position if he gets out of those loops. The key. Now we can head to the boss. I think of like all the things going from Link to the Past to Link's Awakening. Probably the thing that's the least satisfying is these mover platforms for the ones that you kind of fill the room in. I'm fine with the ones here. Like these are faster than the ones that you have in Link to the Past for going around Turtle Rock, but the one where you're basically kind of doing a puzzle is often like really kind of plotting for those. And they're very finicky for the inputs. All right, here we go. Let's see if he cooperates today. We need to get him stun locked here for a bit. Never hits. It's like 4 cycles, I think. Not an amazing fight, but the rest of the palace went really, really well. So I'm very happy with how our Palisade time has been. And I think it is time to go now to Palace 7. This is where it can all go very, very wrong in a hurry. Just have to hope that the ball has not been greased. Okay, unstuck from the turtle. Alright, I'll cook these vegetables to perfection for Bow Wow. He's gonna be so happy he gets cooked vegetables for once. We're delayed. Be heading up the mountain yet again. There's this one passageway that you see a whole bunch. Once you get to the top there to Telltale Lights, then that's where it starts branching off into these different areas. That's good to see. Papoy. Look at him go. Extremely vigorous today. Spiral around our mountain here. Definitely gotta say, A+ effort for spirals. Captain Vittles. Well, we will certainly have as many Vittles as we can find, but sometimes Bao does eat all of them. And then there's none left. There's nothing to do besides open up Palace number 7 here. Hopefully, it's worth it. Palace 7's probably the hardest to figure out. Like, Palace 8's got a lot of weird secret passageways, but this one has a really big puzzle that a lot of people can get very, very stuck on for a long time. That is the puzzle of how do you take this ball anywhere? This ball is needed to smash some pillars. Number 1. What doesn't help is, like, all the maps for this game are also really kind of weird. The gimmick is that eventually you're going to collapse the tower and combine 2 halves to it, but how do you kind of draw that? And some people kind of made up what the tower looked like before and after, but it's never quite correct. Especially the before tower pictures. Up we go. Also, really weird switch changes. They replace that bomb with hearts. It's like one of the very few things that actually change the items. And I guess by this point you don't really need bombs all that often, so kind of makes sense. That's great. How much better that mini-boss is than the one in Palace 5? It's like they learned. Alright, let's see if we learned anything from the cards. Good cards? But will it be good enough? Okay, so let me my sword here. Because we got another tie room to go. And this tie room. It's probably the worst. Because sometimes this fairy gets stuck over here. And is really annoying. There's player number 3. Now time to find out. Does our ball cooperate? That was a really early pause, but looks like we're good. Player number 4. Okay. We smashed the tower. And now it's time to go and smash the boss. That's not the intended strategy for that 4th pillar, which is what makes it a really, really stressful part that it can very easily go incredibly wrong. And having to go all the way back around for that tower is a slow process. Pretty sure the intended strategy has the 3rd and 4th pillars in the opposite order, and then you have to kind of wind the ball through there. What you also have to do is fight this guy in a aerial combat, which also very hard. But the fire rod makes it way, way nicer. One bird, time to get cooked. One more. He was very fast though, so this is still quite dangerous. If you are alternating back and forth like that, you might be a little bit too slow to get him before he knocks you off the pillar, and then you have to start all the way from that beginning of the fight. It is extremely unforgiving. But now, Palace 7 is done. We got Palace 4 to go back to, and then we got the final boss fight, which there's a lot of RNG in the final boss. There's also some RNG whether the platforms in Palace 4 work. Hopefully tonight they're functional. And in case, have a good night. Pleasant dreams to you. And hope you enjoyed our Link's Awakening and Fantasy Final Fantasy today. Alright, so it's not center. Let's see if it's northwest. Not northwest. Let's see if it's southwest. Okay, southwest, southeast. Northwest, northeast, center. Maybe the worst pattern, but not the end of the world because it's a couple extra seconds if you get one of the bad patterns. You're supposed to look at the pattern from another room and then go and replicate it, but there's only a small number. So if you're able to tease out which one is the correct solution, you can do that pretty fast. And skip over that, and you can go now to fight the boss. The boss Bass, who was pretty bad. That guy's just silly. All right, Palace 4 is done. Lose a couple seconds because we got a bad pattern, but looking really good. We got to have a final boss fight that goes well. There's a lot of phases that have RNG in them. There is the Aghanim fight. There's the blob bounces. There's so much to the Aghanim fight. Hopefully Moldrum cooperates. And then Deatheye has to blink. But it was dynamite's effective. It's better when you strap your dynamite to an arrow. That really helps. This owl's still telling us about the mountain. Well, I'm just here to make some omelets. Oh man, if we could shoot the owls, I would pick up more arrows. And that's why egg prices are out of control. Let's go. So normally this is a maze that you have to learn what the secret is by doing a whole bunch of the main story quests, but if you never read the answer to the solution, it's always initialized to the same value on your save game, so you don't have to actually check. And we go down to our final boss fight. Let the RNG games begin. It's blob time. So ideally it gives me 1 bounce, but it can give me up to 3. And it's be at least 2. Gonna give me all 3. It's got the slowest possible blob. So we do want Aghanim. Aghanim's got 4 hit points. First 2, always guaranteed to be real shots. After that, 50-50 between a real shot and a blue ball. There's number 1. Number 2. Now we have to hope that he plays nice. Blue ball number 1. Each one loses a lot of time. All right, 1 more shot to go. Ball number 2. All right, 2 blue balls. Not great, but not terrible. Oh, water got out. Not good, not good. Definitely not good. Losing a fair bit of time here. I got a couple hits on Moldrin, but definitely not even close to the 16. All right. Lost some time there. Got her again in fight. Getting pretty good. I don't even know what that thing is. Don't even care. Because I am here to put 16 arrows into Death Eye's face when he blinks. This is why extra arrows are really important to have. I think I only got 2. 6. 9. 12. 15. And 16 shots. It's going pretty aggressive with the extra arrows, which helps. And hopefully, Link's Awakening has been finished in 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 15 seconds. That is a pretty big PB. Very good run for beginning to end. Like